So Kylie Jenner is one of the Kardashian kids, or one of the Jenner kids, but made famous for being on the Kardashians show, which is both hilarious and awful. Just the fact that she is a famous person, just for that. But now she has been featured in an article of Forbes that proclaims that she is now the youngest self-made billionaire in the world. Now, this is Forbes. The 21-year-old Jenner's net worth recently topped $1 billion, a milestone she reached at a younger age than even Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who hit $1 billion at the age of 23. So, obviously, there's a lot of people who are very critical of this. I am as well. And there's a basis for this criticism. Jenner was raised in a family with a net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more. And that family helped her establish and invest in her business. You know what's funny is that she was worth $5 million already before her business even started. Sounds familiar. There was somebody named Donald J. Trump who was also incredibly rich at a very, very young age, despite not doing anything. Now, of course, as they mentioned, she was on one of the most popular reality television shows in the country, which in itself is super, super sad. I mean, look, I've seen it before. My wife has watched it. I know. And it's like, why are you watching this garbage? It's garbage. It's garbage. Because, and the reason is, it's not because they're terrible people. It's because it's all fake. It's reality TV culture is literally poisoning the country. It's horrible. But anyway, look, as far as her being incredibly wealthy, the first supposed self-made billionaire, for all the crap that we give Zuckerberg, he didn't have any of the advantages that she had. So if you want to say he's self-made, then I think that's a little bit more fair. But to be honest, no one really is self-made. There's always external factors and things like, I don't know, having an education, having infrastructure, not living in a war zone, having a stable government, having resources, and things like that. They tend to forget about all the other external factors that help someone actually make a fortune and actually be wealthy. You don't see a lot of wealthy people in bombed out areas in Syria. I'm just saying. So a lot of that helps. Now, still, nonetheless, Forbes says, oh no, she is a self-made billionaire. Twitter disagreed, and they immediately jumped in. Alex Griswold says, okay, but Kylie Jenner didn't just have $5 million from her folks. She benefited from the massive boost in name recognition and publicity from being on a hit TV show. A TV show that exists solely because of her famous family. And by the way, the only reason that TV show was around is because there was a sex tape that got famous, that got her famous, and they were able to capitalize on that to become famous in themselves. So, there you go. Jamil says, methinks the newspapers are trying to get her dragged by calling her self-made. That's a fascinating theory. Helene Olin says, only in the United States is it accurate to describe Kylie Jenner as self-made. Callum Markey says, yes, self-made billionaire Kylie Jenner can't believe how far she's came from that little council estate in the slums of Carlisle, which I assume is a very ritzy area. John Aravosa says, self-made. Did she grow up on a farm in the Dust Bowl? That's awesome. Kate Hackett says, ha ha ha, Kylie Jenner's as self-made as a tube of cookie dough is homemade. That's awesome. And finally, my favorite, dictionary.com messaged in and said, haven't we gone over this? Self-made, having succeeded in life unaided. And I want to be clear, it wasn't Kylie Jenner that had a sex tape, it was Kim Kardashian that had the sex tape that got her family famous, just in case there was any ambiguity about that. So yeah, suffice to say, that is not a good reaction. Look, I don't necessarily hate Kylie. And to be honest, a lot of this isn't really directed solely at her. I know it seems like it, but what we're trying to point out is that she cannot be self-made because she had incredible advantages on the outset. And she was able to use those advantages in order to gain even more wealth. Not the definition of self-made. It's actually really, really hard to fail when you have that much of a head start. Or you could just do nothing or fail completely like Donald Trump and still be rich. In fact, they failed upwards. Trump failed upwards, but Kylie Jenner, at least, look, she had her family, or Mother Chris does all the business and stuff, and so she was smart and was able to capitalize, right? And that just shows you that she didn't do it on her own, right? So the sad truth is, by the way, that a lot of billionaires also do it on their own. And when a lot of them get to the top, they tend to kick out the ladder from underneath them. And so I'm not saying Kylie is doing that, but a lot of them do. And a lot of them refuse to give back their dues to society. For example, paying your taxes. Again, not necessarily aiming this at Kylie or the Kardashian family or the Jenner family, but man, you get a lot of billionaires out there. They do not pay their taxes. Look at Bezos. Look at Amazon. They're getting a refund. They paid 0 taxes this year. So I think we need to stop venerating billionaires who didn't earn their wealth and start actually respecting workers. Now, see, that's different, right? Right now, we're like, oh, billionaires are so wonderful, so fantastic. No, they're not. No, they're not. Now, again, they're not horrible people in most cases, but nobody respects the worker. Nobody respects the person going 9 to 5 or, 6 to 3 or 11 to 7, right? Nobody talks about those people who actually generate the wealth that the people at the top, the CEOs and the business executives, extract from the worker. We don't talk about that. And maybe we should. Maybe we should have more of a respect for the worker instead of talking about people like Kylie Jenner. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.